Hi, welcome to Sage Business Cloud Accounting Software video tutorials. In this video, we will discuss about master files in Sage Business Cloud Accounting. We will discuss customer, supplier, items, banking, accounts, assets, budgets, and analysis codes. Customer master files. There are three types of customer master files that you can create. Customer categories, sales reps, customer accounts. Information that you are enter that does not change often is called static information. When you enter details for a customer, that information is called a master file record. Customer categories. You are able to create customer categories for your customers. You can use categories to group your customer accounts for reporting purposes. Since your customer reports can be printed per category. This can be useful for tracking sales in a particular area to a particular group of customers or to track sales per sales agent. You do not have to use customer categories if you do not want to. You can start and stop using categories at any time. However, you cannot delete a category if it has a customer account linked to it. To access this function, select Customers, List, Customer Categories. If you want to create a new category, click on the Add Category button and the screen below will display, where you will enter the name of the category. Click Save. You can view customer categories list and you can sort ascending or descending order. Sales reps. Sage Business Cloud Accounting allows you to analyze sales by sales reps. Go to Customers, Reports, Sales by Sales Reps. You can select Sales Reps. You can view Sales by Sales Rep report. Sales rep name, quantity, total cost for that sales, total sellings, gross profit amount, gross profit percentage. Sales rep use is optional. Users can enter sales rep on each sale document once you decided to use them. To access this feature, click on Customers, List, List of Sales Reps option. Click on the Add Sales Rep button to create a new sales rep. Enter the details of the sales rep and click on the Save button. Allocating a sales rep to a customer. Sage Business Cloud Accounting allows you to allocate a sales rep to a customer master files. You can access this feature. Click on the Customers, List of Customers option. Edit the customer that you want to link a sales rep to. Select the sales rep from the Sales Rep drop-down menu. Processing with sales reps. When processing any customer documents, you have the option to select a sales rep that belongs to a customer or assisted the customer from the sales rep drop-down menu. If there's a sales rep allocated to a customer, you have the option to change it on the invoice if another sales rep assists a customer. Go to Customers, Transactions, Customer Tax Invoices. Click Add a Tax Invoice. Select the customer. If you already linked a sales rep, you can view the sales rep. If you want to change the sales rep when you are processing the transaction, you can change. Adding customer accounts. To create customers to sell items to, select Customers, List of Customers, or select Customers, click Add a Customer. The customer screen as shown below will display. If you want to create a new customer account, click on the Add Customer screen. Here, you will enter the MaterFiles information for the customer account. In the top section of the screen, you will enter the customer name, customer category, opening balance, credit limit, tax reference of your customer. Select the sales rep allocated to a customer in the Sales Rep drop-down menu. Activate your customer by checking the Active checkbox. This will ensure that you will be able to process transactions for the customer. If you are implementing the system for all company, you can enter opening balance if available. You are able to add an opening balance at a later stage by selecting the Adjust Opening Balance options from the Customer's special menu. You can also create customer category and sales reps when creating customer. Auto allocate receipts to oldest invoice. The auto allocate receipts to oldest invoice checkbox is automatically checked when creating a new customer, which notifies the system to automatically allocate the customer's receipts to oldest invoices. If you prefer to manually allocate receipts to their corresponding invoices, uncheck the auto allocate receipts to oldest invoice checkbox. If you tick auto allocate receipts to oldest invoice, your receipts will allocate to oldest invoices. Example, enter customer receipts. Go to customer, transactions, customer receipts. Add receipt. Select customer. Enter the receipt amount. System will automatically allocate the receipt to oldest invoices. Exclude from debtors manager. Use this option if you want to search Business Cloud accounting to exclude this customer from all debtors manager payment reminders. This will also avoid the customer record being placed on hold during the debtors manager execution. Example, customers, debtors manager, outstanding invoices workflow. If you tick send outstanding invoice reminders, place customer account on hold, send overdue invoice reminders, and here if you untick this exclude from debtors manager, your customers will receive invoice outstanding reminders. And if you want to exclude sending reminders to your customers, you can untick this option. New invoices on hold. If you tick this option, your users cannot invoice to this customer. To skip between the master files, click on the next or previous links. The bottom part of the screen has 10 tabs. Details, activity, additional contacts, notes, user-defined fields, personal information, sales graphs, codes, sales orders, invoices, and report layouts. In the details section, you will enter the basic contact information of your customer. As you can see in the screen above, this screen also contains some special features regarding the delivery address: email, telephone, mobile number and web address. As you can see, these options are displayed in blue underlined text, which makes them active links. The Copy from Postal Address button will automatically copy the postal address into the delivery address box. You will use this option when the customer's postal address and delivery address is the same. The Map button on the delivery address will direct you to Google Maps, which will pinpoint the customer's location. Addresses entered should be in uniquely identifiable format, containing as much information as possible in order to find the locations and coordinates. The Email button will instantly create an email. Using the email address entered in this field. Note: you have the option of emailing documents such as invoices and credit notes to customers. If you wish to use this facility, you must ensure that the email address you enter is correct. If you use Skype and want to make a Skype call, click on the telephone or mobile links on the customer edit screen, and a Skype call will be started. The web address button will direct you to the customer's website, if applicable. These special features will only work if the fields are completed with relevant information. Invoices can be viewed online. If you tick these options, customers can view their invoices online. You can set this option from Company, change company settings, Customers on. You can enable your accounting customers on. Send outstanding invoice reminder. If you activated Debtors Manager, you can send outstanding invoice reminder and overdue invoice reminders. If you want to send outstanding invoice reminders, you can tick this option, and send overdue invoice reminders, you can tick this option. You can enter customer's business registration number. Default settings. You have 4 statement distribution options available: None, Print, Email, Print and Email. If you select None, if the customer does not require a statement, select this option. Print. If the customer requires a printed statement, select this option. Email. If the customer wants his/her statements to be sent via email, select this option. print an email. If the customer wants his statement to be printed and emailed, select this option. If you not enter an email address, please select None or Print. You can enter default discount. When you enter transactions, the default discount rate will apply for that transaction. Go to Customers, Transactions, Customer Tax Invoices, click Add a Tax Invoice. Select the customer. You can view the default discount. If you want, you can change this discount percentage when you are processing the transaction. Default price list. You can select a specific price list for the customer. If you invoice for this specific customer, then Sage Business Cloud Accounting will use the price list as specified in the master file. You can create price list from Company, change company settings, General settings, Item settings, Price list. Users can also set a default VAT type, which will apply when transaction. Customer defaults will override item and account defaults. Default tax rate will apply. You can enter credit period for this customer. If you set a due date for payment when you are entering transaction, system will calculate due date. If you activated multi-currency, you can select the customer's currency. You can activate multi-currency from Company, change company settings, multi-currency. Activity tab. In the Activity tab, accounting will show the customer adjustments, value of the opening balance, all tax invoices, all customer returns, all receipts and discounts. A balance will also be displayed for the account. You can view the transactions that make up the balance by clicking on the detail link on each line. For new customer accounts, there will not yet be any balances. Below is an example of an activity tab for a customer account that has transactions. You can view transaction by clicking this detail button. Additional contacts. You are able to add contact details for different people in the customer's organization in the Additional Contacts tab. To add another line, click plus mark. If you want to remove, you can click red color button. You can enter contact name, designation, telephone number, fax number, mobile number, email address. OS invoices. OS invoices is outstanding invoices. If you want to send outstanding invoice reminders to this additional contact, you can tick this option. If you want to send overdue invoice reminders, you can tick this option and save. Notes tab. The Notes tab is where you will find or create notes linked to the specific customer account. These notes are displayed in the company dashboard until they have been marked as completed. If you create a note without entering an action date, the system date or entry date will be used as the action date. You can also add attachments by clicking the File button. Individual files may not exceed 2 MB in size. A maximum of 5 attachments per note or transactions can be added. User-defined field. If you have created user-defined field in the company settings, you will see the headings that you created for the fields in the User-Defined Fields tab. You will enter the relevant information here. You can create user-defined fields in Company, change company settings, user-defined fields. Select customer. You can rename these labels. Personal information. Due to Data Protection Act, you need to enter these details. If you want to extend removal date, you can increase from here. Sales graph. On the Sales Graph tab, Accounting will display a graph of the sales to the customer per month. You are able to drill down to another sales graph displaying daily sales by clicking on one of the monthly sales bars. From the daily sales graphs, you can then drill down to transaction by clicking on the one of the days in the chart. If you are creating a new customer, there will be no values in the graph as yet. Click on the Show Setting link to change the display of the transaction types and the financial categories. Codes tab. Any codes that you have proceeded for a customer account will be displayed in the Codes tab. You are able to view and edit the codes by clicking on the edit link on each code. Invoices tab. All customer invoices are listed under the Invoices tab. If you want, you can include paid invoices. You have the option of selecting a range of invoices by checking the checkbox next to the invoice and select to either reprint or email them by clicking on the Print Invoices or Email Invoices button. Report Layouts tab. You can select the default report layouts for a customer in the Report Layouts tab. This will allow you to have different layouts per customer if you wish. You are able to design your own document layouts by downloading the customer layout design. You can download Custom Layout Designer, Company, change company settings, Documents and Statements, Invoice and Statement Layouts by clicking this Clicking Here button. Select Desktop Add-ons and Downloads and click Accounting Custom Layout Designer for Windows. Download and install now. After you enter details, click Save button. Editing customer accounts. Customer information can change on a frequent basis. It is very important to keep track of your customers' details as they have to pay you for your items or services. If your customer information is not up to date and you cannot get into contact with them, your bad debt ratio might increase as you may not be able to recover monies owed by them. To edit a customer, click on the Actions option on the customer line and select the Edit option. Or you can click on the blue customer name link. You can change customer details here and click Save. Other bulk actions. Sage Business Cloud Accounting allows you to update customer master files in bulk without having to edit one customer at a time. However, you cannot change address information. Check all the customers that you want to update and click on the Update button. You can change category. If you want to change customer category, you can select category from update and you can select the category. You can see that customer category has changed to distributor. If you want to change sales reps, select sales reps under update, select sales rep. All sales reps has changed. Like that, you can change these fields. Mark as active, inactive. You can also set customers as active or inactive in bulk. Check all the customers that you want to update and click on the Mark as active, inactive button. If you want to inactivate, you can untick this option and save. These customers as inactivated. If you want to active again, select those customers, click Mark as active, inactive, tick active tick box and save. Now these customers activated. Deleting customer accounts. If you have captured the incorrect customer information and want to delete the customer account, you can do so in the list of customers screen. To delete a customer, click on the Actions option on the customer line and select the Delete option. Or you can select customers and click Delete. However, you cannot delete customers with transactions allocated to it. However, you cannot delete customers with transactions allocated to it. You can customize customer list grid. You can add or remove fields by clicking Customize Grid button. Tick on the required columns. Untick if you want to remove any column. You can sort columns by clicking the column heading. You can sort ascending or descending order. Search option. If you want to search any customer, you can type and search. Multi-column sorting. You can sort customer list by multi-columns. You can add level and sort. Filters. You can filter customers by sales. If you have foreign customers, foreign customer balance will display in customer's currency. You can view number of customers in this grid. Discuss about supplier master files. Information that you enter that does not change often is called static information. When you enter details for a supplier, that information is called a master file record. There are two types of supplier master files that you can create. List of suppliers, supplier categories. Supplier categories. You are able to create categories for your supplier accounts in Sage Business Cloud Accounting. You can use these categories to sort your suppliers. For example, you may want to sort your suppliers as local or national, or by product ranges. Supplier categories mainly used for reporting. Go to Suppliers, Reports, Purchases by Supplier. You can select supplier category and generate the report. To add a new category, click on the Add Category button and then enter the name for the new category. You can view list of supplier categories. You can sort supplier categories by ascending or descending order by clicking on the heading. You do not have to use supplier categories and you can start or stop using them at any time. However, you cannot delete a supplier category that has a supplier account linked to it. Adding supplier accounts. You purchase the items that you resell or use in your products from your suppliers. To create or maintain your supplier accounts, click on Suppliers, List of suppliers. The screen below will display. To create a new supplier account, click on the Add Supplier button and the screen below will display. Or you can create a new supplier from Supplier, Add a Supplier. This is where you will enter the master file information for your suppliers. If you want to create a new supplier account, click on the Add Supplier screen. Here you will enter the master file information for the supplier account. You can create a supplier by entering supplier name and save. It's better to enter supplier information if available. For explanation purposes, I'll open an already created supplier. In the top section of the screen, you will enter the supplier name, supplier category, opening balance, credit limit, and tax reference of your supplier. When you exceed your supplier credit limit, system will pop up a message. Now, this supplier credit limit is 150,000. Go to Suppliers, Transactions, Supplier Invoices, Add Supplier Invoice, select Supplier, your credit limit will be exceeded. Activate your supplier by checking the active checkbox. This will ensure that you will be able to process transactions for the supplier. Opening balance. If you are implementing the system for an old company, you can enter the opening balance if available. You are able to add the opening balance at a later stage by selecting the Adjust Opening Balance option from the supplier menu. You can create supplier category when creating supplier. Auto allocate payments to oldest invoice. The auto allocate payments to oldest invoice checkbox is automatically checked when creating a new supplier payment. Examples: go to Suppliers, transactions, supplier payments. Add supplier payment. Select the supplier. Enter payment amount. You can see system automatically allocate the payment amount to oldest invoices. There are 11 tabs on the screen, 6 of which you can edit and 5 of which accounting will complete for you. Details, activity, additional contacts, banking details, notes, user-defined fields, personal information, purchases graph, purchase orders, unpaid invoices, report layouts. Details tab. You will enter the supplier's postal address, physical address, contact name, email, telephone, mobile and fax numbers, and web address on the contact details tab. You can enter supplier's business registration number. This screen also contains some special features regarding the physical address, email, telephone, mobile number and web address. As you can see, these options are displayed in blue underlined text, which make them active links. The map button on the physical address will direct you to Google Maps, which will pinpoint the supplier's location. Addresses entered should be in uniquely identifiable format, containing as much information as possible in order to find the location and coordinates. The Copy from Postal Address button will automatically copy postal address into the delivery address box. You will use this option when the supplier's postal address and delivery address is the same. The email button will instantly create an email using the email address entered in this field. If you use Skype and want to make a Skype call, click the telephone or mobile links on the supplier edit screen and a Skype call will be started. The web address button will direct you to the supplier's website. Default settings. Sage Business Cloud Accounting allows you to allocate a default discount to the supplier master file. You can enter the discount percentage in the default discount field, and this will pull through to the processing documents. Example, go to suppliers, transactions, supplier invoices, click add a supplier invoice, select your supplier. You can view the default discount. Users can also set a default VAT type which will apply when transaction. Supplier defaults will override item and account defaults. You can also set a default due date for the supplier documents. For example, you must pay your supplier 30 days from the date of invoice. The Activity tab. In the Activity tab, account will display the supplier adjustments, supplier opening balance, supplier invoices, supplier returns, supplier payments including discount and balance. You can drill down to the documents making up the balance by clicking on the detail link. Click on the detail link to view a detailed activity sheet of the supplier invoices. The Additional Contacts tab. To record details for any other contacts that you may have at your supplier, you will use the Additional Contacts tab. You would use this tab if you have more than one contact at your supplier. For example, you may use the Address and Contact Details tab for the Managing Director of the company, and then record details of the sales rep and account clerks in the Additional Contacts tab. You can add lines by clicking this plus mark. The Banking Details tab. In Banking Details tab, you can enter supplier banking details, account holder, account number, bank name, branch code, account type. The main user will have to give the other users access to view or edit this feature. Go to Administration, Control User Access, select the user, click on Permissions, select Suppliers, click on Add Edit Supplier Banking Details. Tick View Supplier Banking Details. The Notes tab. In the Notes tab, you will create and store any notes regarding the supplier. For example, if the supplier has a special running for a particular period of time, or if you must collect stock on a specific date, you would create a note with the details. Notes appear in the company dashboard until they have been marked as complete. Go to Home, Dashboard, under To-Do List, Overdue Supplier Notes, You can also add attachments by clicking the File button. Individual files may not exceed 2 MB in size. A maximum of 5 attachments per note or transactions can be added. User-defined fields tab. If you have set up user-defined fields in the company settings, you will enter the relevant information in this tab. You can change these label names from company, change company settings, user-defined fields, supplier. Personal information. You can enter protection of personal information. This personal information due to Data Protection Act. If you want, you can extend removal date. Purchases graph. Once you have processed purchases from your supplier, accounting will display a graph of the annual values per month in the Purchases Graph tab. If you would like to see more details, you can click on one of the bars in the chart of a graph showing the daily purchases. You can then drill down to the transactions by clicking on one of the bars representing a day. Click on the Show Settings link to change the display of the transaction types and the financial categories. The Purchase Orders tab. If you have processed any purchase orders, they will display in the Purchase Orders tab. You are able to open the purchase order from this tab by clicking on Edit on each purchase order shown. Unpaid Invoices tab. Any unpaid supplier invoices are listed under the Unpaid Invoices tab. You have the option of selecting of range of invoices by checking the checkboxes next to each invoice and select to either reprint or email them by clicking on the Print Invoices or Email Invoices button. The Report Layouts tab. You can select the report layouts for a supplier in the Report Layouts tab. Editing supplier accounts. Like anyone, suppliers do change their details for various reasons. Examples are moving to new premises, new management personnel that are appointed, telephone numbers that change, new or added web addresses or email addresses. In order to keep your company records up to date, you will be required to update these changes to suppliers in your company database. Click on Suppliers, List of suppliers. To edit a supplier, click on the Actions, select the Edit option, or you can click on the blue supplier name link. You can change details if you required. Other bulk actions. Sage Business Cloud Accounting allows you to update supplier master files in bulk without having to edit one supplier at a time. However, you cannot change address information. Select suppliers. Select update. You can change supplier category. Select the category. You can view category here. Now it has changed to Visa. Like that, you can change following fields: auto allocate, discount percentage, default VAT type, purchase order layout, invoice layout, return layout, statement layout. Mark as active inactive. You can also set suppliers as active or inactive in bulk. Check all the suppliers that you want to update and click on the Mark as active inactive button. Now these three customers active. If you want to change active inactive in bulk, you can select this Mark as active inactive, untick this option and save. Now these three suppliers inactivated. If you want to active again, you can select those suppliers and select Mark as active, tick, save. Deleting supplier accounts. If you have captured the incorrect supplier information and want to delete the supplier account, you can do so in the list of suppliers screen. Click on the suppliers list of suppliers. To delete a supplier, click on the actions option. Select delete option, or tick on that supplier and click delete. You cannot delete a supplier account with transaction allocated to it. You can customize supplier list grid. You can add or remove fields by clicking Customize Grid button. Tick on required columns, untick if you want to remove any column. You can sort columns by clicking the column heading. You can sort ascending or descending order. Search option. If you want to search any supplier, you can type and search. Multi-column sorting. You can sort supplier list by multi-columns. Filters. You can filter supplier by purchases. If you have foreign suppliers, foreign supplier balance and credit limit will display in supplier's currency. You can view number of suppliers in the grid. We'll discuss about item master files. Items are the goods and or services that you sell to your customers. There are three types of master file records that are available for items. List of items, list of bundles, item categories. Item categories. If you want to, you are able to use item categories to group your items. This is done mainly for reporting purposes. You can use item categories to group your items by range or supplier. Example, if you want to generate sales by item reports by group or item category, you can use this item category. You do not have to create item categories for your stock. If you can start or stop using item categories at any time. You can create item categories by clicking Add Category. Enter item category description and save. You can view list of item categories. By clicking these actions, if you want, you can edit or delete your item categories. However, you cannot delete an item category if there are items linked to it. Items. Go to Items, List, List of items. In this function, you maintain records for the goods and or services you sell to your customers. You cannot sell anything to customers unless you have items. You purchase items from suppliers and you sell items to customers. You can view sales and purchases statistics, so you know how many units are buying and selling each month and their values. To create a new stock item, you will click on the Add an Item button, or you can go to Items, click Add an Item. You can enter item code, item description, and you can select item category. If you have opening quantity, you can enter opening cost and opening quantity. You can select opening quantity as a date. When you are creating item, you can create physical item or service item. It is very important that you select the correct item type for your item, whether it is a physical item or service item. You use service item to sell maintenance contract, consulting hours, and so on. You can also them for postage delivery costs. For new items, you can enter opening cost and quantity values. If you select service, you cannot view opening quantity and opening quantity as at date. Active. If you tick this option, this item will active, and if you untick this option, this item inactivated. For demonstration purposes, I will open an item with transaction. There are 9 tabs on this item screen. Details, price list, activity, notes, user-defined fields, purchasers graph, sales graph, sales versus purchasers graph, picture. First, we will discuss details. The details tab. In the details tab, you enter the exclusive or inclusive selling price. You are able to enter your own purchase or selling price on documents when you process them. You can enter additional information in the unit field, for example, a unit of measure for them. Select the sales or purchase account from the fields available. You can select inventory account and item adjustment account if you have activated advanced inventory module. After you enter the selling price, and if you have average cost, you can view the gross profit percentage and gross profit amount. If taxes available for this item, you can select tax type. You can select tax on sales, tax on purchases. After you enter transactions, you can view last cost, average cost, quantity on hand, and quantity reserved. Price list tab. Under the price list tab, you can set specific prices for each additional price list that you have set up. First, you need to create price list. You can create price list from company settings. Go to company, change company settings. General settings, item settings. Under price list, you can create price list. After you create price list, you can enter relevant prices for that price list. After you enter the selling price, system will calculate inclusive selling price if taxes available, and GP percentage and GP amount. The activity tab. The activity tab displays the opening balance value and the value of any adjustment, invoices, supplier invoices, credit notes, supplier returns, and quantity on hand. Click on the detail link to view a detailed activity sheet of the item. Below is an example of the tax invoices detail screen. From here you can view customer, document number, document date, quantity, and exclusive total. If quantity is out from the system, it will display as minus. The Notes tab. In the Notes tab, you enter notes for the item. If you are creating a new item, the tabs will open on the Notes tab, since there is no activity for the item as yet. If you create a note without entering an action date, the system date or entity date will be used as the action date. Notes display in the dashboard until they have been marked as completed. You can also add attachments by clicking the File button. Individual files may not exceed 2 MB in size. A maximum of 5 attachments per note or transaction can be added. The user-defined fields. In the user-defined fields tab, you can enter additional fields. If you have defined the names of the fields in the user-defined fields function, you can enter the specific information here. You can change this user-defined field label from company, change company settings, user-defined fields, select items. From here, you can rename your user-defined fields. Purchasers graph. You can view purchase activity in a graph. You can drill down to transaction by clicking on the bars in each graph. Sales graph. In the individual sales graph, you can see sales activity in a graph format. You can drill down to transaction by clicking on the bars in each graph. You can analyze your sales comparing it previous year. The sales versus purchases graph. In the sales versus purchases graph, it will display your purchases and sales on one graph. This will enable you to compare buying and selling patterns per item and over time to develop more efficient buying practices. The picture tab. In the picture tab, you can add a picture of the item. The picture will be saved on the accounting document store. The supported file formats are JPG, TIFF, GIF, PNG and BMP. Click on the Add Picture button to add the picture. Item list grid. You can view these columns in the item list grid. You can customize this grid by clicking Customize Grid button. You can tick required columns You can untick if you want to remove any column. Click Save. You can sort this grid by clicking column headings. You can sort ascending or descending order. There are few inactivated buttons. After you select items, these buttons will activate. If you want to delete any item, you can click Delete. Mark as active, inactive. After you select items, you can activate or inactivate these items. You can inactivate by unticking this option. Now you can see these two items has inactivated. If you want to active again, you can select those items and click Mark as active, inactive. Tick active option and save. Update. By selecting more than one item, you can change their values by clicking Update button. If you want to change category of those items, you can select category, and from category list you can select the relevant category. Now these three items, first one accommodation, second one CCTV, third one CCTV. Now all three items category has changed to accommodation. If you want to change again, you can click Update, select category, and from here you can select CCTV and save. Like that, if you want to change any field more than one item, you can select those items and you can change at once. In addition to that, you can change following values: tax on sales, tax on purchases, sales account, cost of sales or purchases account, inventory account, item adjustment account, and service item recovery account. Actions. You can view item details by quick view. You can view item details, value on hand, cost and selling prices, GP percentage, GP amount, recent sales, recent purchases, sales versus purchases graph, and also you can view all transactions. You can edit an item by clicking these actions and select Edit. You can change item details and save. or you can edit an item by clicking this blue color link. You can delete an item by clicking Actions, Delete. However, you cannot delete an item with transactions. Search option. If you want to search any item, you can type and search. Multi-column sorting. You can sort items list by multi-columns. You can add columns by clicking this Add Level. You can view number of items in system. Bundle items. You can create a bundle item from items list of item bundles. Click Add Item Bundle. You can bundle 2 or more items. After you create bundle items, you can populate all items in the bundle item. Example, you can create a customer quotation, click Add Cart, change this type from item to bundle, select bundle item, now you can see we have selected only computer, but all other components in that computer will populate to the quotation screen. You can change quantities. Okay, let's create a bundle item. Go to items, list of bundles, click Add Item Bundle. You can enter item bundle code, item bundle description, and you can add components in that bundle item. After that, you can enter the quantity of that bundle item. For demonstration purposes, I'll open a bundle item. Now we have created computer as a bundle item, and we have added that subcomponent of that computer: CPU 1 quantity, monitor 1, mouse 1, keyboard 1, and 2 speakers. Like that, you can add components by clicking this plus mark, and if you want to remove any item, you can delete by clicking this red color button. After you enter components, you can save this bundle item. Discuss about banking master files. Sage Business Cloud Accounting allows you to create multiple bank accounts, including credit card accounts. You use bank account and credit card accounts to receive payments from customers, pay suppliers, make other payments incidental to your business, for example, enter bank charges, receive cash from source other than customers. Bank and credit card categories. You are able to create categories to group your bank and credit card accounts should you want to, although this is not mandatory. You are able to start or stop using categories at any time. To create bank and credit card categories, select Banking, List, select Bank and Credit Card categories. To create a new category, you will click on the Add Category button and then enter the name of the new category. After enter the new bank and credit card category, click Save. Bank and credit card accounts. To create the bank and credit cards, select Banking, List, List of bank and credit cards. Click Add a bank or credit card. Or go to Banking, select Add a bank or credit card. You can create bank accounts for such as savings, current or fixed deposits, petty cash accounts, cash in hand accounts or PD check accounts. Enter bank account name. Select category. Select default payment method. There are 4 payment methods: cash, check, credit card, EFT, electronic fund transfer. If you select a default method, when you process bank transaction, that payment method will display as default payment method. If you want to change, you can change the payment method when you process the transaction. Example, go to Suppliers, Transactions, Supplier Payments. Click Add Supplier Payment. Here you can see default payment method as checks. If you want, you can change when you are processing the transaction. Enter bank name. Without bank name, you cannot save the bank account. If you create a petty cash account, you can enter the bank name as petty cash. Enter bank account number. Enter branch name. Enter branch code. Active. If you tick active option, bank account is active. If you want to inactivate the bank account, untick the active tick box. Default. If you tick default option, when you process any bank transaction, default bank account will display as bank account. You can change the bank account when you are processing the transaction. Example, in this company we have default Sampath Bank Rupee account. When you are processing transactions, go to Customers, Transactions, Customer Receipts, click Add Receipt. Sampath Rupee accounts will display as default bank account. If you want, you can change when you are processing the currency. If you have activated multi-currency module, you can select currency. If you have foreign currency bank accounts, you can select the relevant currency. Opening balance. You can enter bank account opening balance. If you are implementing the system for an old company, you may enter opening balance and select opening balance as a date. For demonstration purposes, I will open bank account with transaction. Bank account screen has two tabs. The Activity tab and the Notes tab. The Activity tab displays balances for opening balance, total receipts, total payments, receipts and payments to accounts, transfers in and out, and VAT transactions. The balance of the account is also displayed. By clicking Detail link, you can view detailed transactions. In the Notes tab, you can make notes on the bank or credit card account. Notes can be created with an action date or without. You can also add attachments by clicking the File button. Individual files may not exceed 2 MB in size. A maximum of 5 attachments per note or transaction can be added. Quick entry rules. Sage Business Cloud Accounting can automatically remember which account, customer or supplier to use based on the description you enter while processing your bank and credit card transactions. If you enter description that accounting recognizes, the system will automatically complete the type of transaction and account, customer or supplier selection for you. To access this function, select Banking, List, Quick Entry Rules. Enter the description you wish to map. Select the type of account you wish to map the description to. Select either the account, customer, supplier or VAT account from the set of type of column. Select the selection. Select the tax type. Click on the Save button to save all the details that accounting need to map. Example. Here we have set Quick Entry Rules as TWH. We will go to Banking and we will enter this payee name. We have entered payee name. System will fill description, type and selection. We will enter another transaction. We will enter BC. Then system will fill description and type selection. Bank statement mapping rule. Sage Business Cloud Accounting allows you to map description to certain recurring transactions displayed on your bank or credit card statement. Map descriptions. This feature allows you to link the bank statement description to a bank or credit card transaction that occurs frequently, so that when your bank or credit card statements are imported, the transaction will automatically be posted to the correct accounts. The bank statement description will be mapped to the type, description and VAT type of the transaction. You can create map description via the banking grid by clicking the map link on the transaction line. Or you can go to banking, list bank statement mapping rule. From here you can set a bank statement mapping rule. We will import bank statement. Go to banking, transaction, select banking. After you select banking transactions, you can view this screen. From here you can select import bank statement button. You can select CSV file format, and from here by clicking how do I set up a CSV file, you can download an example. In this screen you can set date, description and amount. The description is bank statement mapping rule. In our bank statement mapping rule, we will search bank statement for B0101. System will fill other details: customer, type, selection, tax, pay name and accounting display description. We will import bank statement. Select import file type as CSV, click browse and select your bank statement. Click import file. Now one row has successfully imported. Now here you can see this transaction has imported. We have entered only date, description and amount, but system has searched for this bank statement description and filled other details. Like that, you can set bank statement mapping rules. Accounts master files. Accounts. Accounts are created so that you can record information about expenses, income, liabilities or assets that you may have. You use accounts to analyze transactions entered in the bank and credit card function, as well as journal entries captured in the accountants area. You can access accounts by selecting the accounts list of accounts menu. Sage Business Cloud Accounting includes, by default, a list of the most commonly used accounts in a business environment. These accounts can be edited to suit your business needs, or in the event of an account not being applicable to your business, you can delete them. Accounting will also create the sales account, the cost of sales account, the trade receivables and trade payable accounts, and your tax accounts. These system accounts cannot be edited or deleted. However, follow the links to view the transaction history for the account. To edit an account, you will click on the edit link for the account. To create a new account, you will click on the Add Account button. At the top of the screen, you will enter the name and description for the account. You can also enter an opening balance for the account and a date for the opening balance. Users can also set a default VAT type which will apply when transaction. The account entertainment should be set to exempt for all new companies by default. In the category menu, you will select the correct category for the account. It is important that you select the correct category since accounting uses the categories to calculate the values on the profit and loss report and the statement of assets and liabilities report. Account categories cannot be created or edited. All of the categories that you will need for your business have been created for you. When you create accounts, you must select the correct category from the categories that are available. The account categories available are explained as follows. Sales. This category also called income and includes the value of all of your sales. All sales, whether item sales or service sales, are included. Cost of sales. This category will include all accounts for costs that are incurred directly from selling your products. For example, if you have a mail order business and you are supposed to deliver all of your orders, you would include postage in the cost of sales and not as an expense. This category is also used for accounts for your purchases. Other income. You will use this category for any other income that are received, such as interest received and rental income, if you rent out space. Expenses. Expenses are the running cost of your business, such as rent, water and electricity and salaries. Income tax. Income tax is tax paid to tax authorities on income. Non-current assets. Non-current assets are assets that have a lifespan of more than one financial year. For example, office premises and vehicles are non-current assets. Current assets. Current assets are assets that can quickly be exchanged for money and are likely to change within one financial year. For example, the value of the money that your customers owe you and the value of your stock on hand are regarded as current assets. Money in your bank account is seen to be a current asset. Non-current liabilities. These liabilities are debts that you have that are going to take more than one financial year to settle, such as a mortgage or vehicle financing. Current liabilities. Current liabilities are short-term liabilities such as the value of the money that you owe to your suppliers or your local tax authority. If you are in an overdraft situation, your bank account is regarded as a current liability. Owner's equity. Owner's equity refers to money invested in a business by its owner. This can also be defined as the amount that the business owes to the owner. You can also add attachment by clicking the File button. Individual files may not exceed 2 MB in size. A maximum of 5 attachments per note or transaction can be added. Item accounts. Sales and purchases accounts for items. Now you can assign your items to their own unique sales and purchases accounts. When you process a customer's invoice, accounting will use the sales account set on the item. When you buy items from a supplier, accounting will use the purchaser's account set up on the item. To access this function, select the Accounts menu, followed by the List options and the Sales and Purchases accounts option. Enter the name, select Sales, Cost of Sales or Purchases account, Inventory account or Item adjustments. Click Save button. Selecting an item to be a sales or purchase account. Once a sales or purchases account created, you will have to specify in the item whether it's a sales or purchase account. Select the items, list of items. click on the Add an Item button. Under the Details tab, select the Sales or Purchases account from the fields available. If you now process an invoice for a customer and view the profit and loss report, your sales and purchases item will display separately. If you have activated Advanced Inventory module, you can select Inventory Account and Item Adjustment Account. Assets Master Files. Assets. Sage Business Cloud Accounting allows you to record your company's assets. To access this function, click on Company, select Assets. The Assets menu displays. The following asset master files need to be created: list of assets, asset categories, asset locations. Before you create your assets, it is recommended to create your asset categories and asset locations first. You can also create them on the fly. Create your assets. To create your company's assets, click on Company, Assets, List of Assets. Click on the Add an Asset button to create a new asset. The following screen displays. Enter a short description of the asset in the description field. Assign an asset category and asset location to the asset using the drop-down menus in the respective fields. You can create asset categories and asset locations by clicking Add New Category and Add New Location respectively. It is very important to record the date you bought the asset. Enter the serial number of the assets, if applicable. Enter the supplier's details in the bought from field. Enter the purchase price, current value, and replacement value in the respective fields. The bottom part of the screen has two tabs, allowing you to add user-defined fields and notes. You can also add attachments by clicking the File button. Individual files may not exceed 2 MB in size. A maximum of 5 attachments per note or transaction can be added. For example, if you are creating a motor vehicle, you can add emission test date, vehicle insurance date, revenue license renewal date under notes. If you want, you can attach current emission test report, insurance report, and vehicle revenue license report as attachments. Asset categories. To create your asset categories, click on Company, Assets, Asset Categories. Click on the Add Category button. Enter description of the category in the description field. Click on Save or Save and New buttons to save the newly added category and or create another one. Asset locations. To create your asset locations, click on Company, Assets, Asset Locations. Click on Add Location button. Enter description of the location in the description field. For an example, you can create your branches as asset location or your department as asset location. If you have any cost centers, you can add cost centers as your location. Click on Save or Save and New buttons to save the newly added location and or create another one. Sage Business Cloud Accounting allows you to import all the assets in your company. By clicking Import Assets, you can import your list of assets. You can view list of assets. If you want to customize grid, by clicking this Customize Grid button, you can customize your list of assets. If you want to add any column, you can tick that column. If you want to remove any column, you can untick that column. Click Save. You can sort this grid by clicking Headings. You can sort ascending or descending order. Asset reports. Reports are available both in the Reports menu and from the many reports sections on the screen in Sage Business Cloud Accounting. You are able to drill down the transactions by clicking on a line in the report if the reports are printed in detail. Budgets. Sage Business Cloud Accounting allows you to create your financial budgets. Follow these steps to create a budget for your company. Click on the company, budgets, add a budget option. The following screen will display it. Enter the name of your budget in the available field. Select whether your budget will be for the current year or for the next year. You have the option to create your budget using historical data from Sage Business Cloud Accounting, or you can enter your budget amounts for each account manually. Click on the next button. First, we will create budget based on historical data. Choose the historical data to use current year or the previous year data. Choose the historical data to use current year or the previous year data. You can use your previous year actuals and adjust and round the values to increase or decrease, and you can set it by percentage and round it to the nearest value, or you can use your previous year actuals and round the values to the nearest value. You can increase or decrease your previous year data. By entering a percentage, you can increase or decrease your budget values. And select the round to the nearest value. Create budget. You can view budget totals. We will create a budget manually. Enter the name of your budget. Select Create your budget manually. Click Create budget. Enter all the amounts of all the system accounts. can view your GL accounts and budget period. By clicking this button, you can copy the budget value for these accounts. There are two options. First one, copy this value across each month going forward. If you click copy now, you can copy similar value to each month. If you select second option, copy this value across each month going forward, adjusting the values at the same time. If you want, you can increase or decrease your values. You can change the frequency, once off, every month, every 2 months, every quarter, and every 6 months. We will select every quarter. You can enter the percentage to increase the budget values. We will enter 10%, and you can round to the nearest value. Click copy now. Now you can see each quarter budget value has increased by 10%. If you want, you can decrease your budget values. Select decrease, select the frequency, enter the percentage, click copy now. If you decrease every quarter, your values will decrease. If you click this button copies the budget value for all accounts. There are two options. First, copy this value across to each month going forward. Click copy now. All the account values copy to each month. Copy budget value for all accounts. Select the second option. From here, you can increase or decrease your budget values. You can select the frequency. You will select every 2 months, and you can enter the percentage. You can select add round to the nearest. Click copy now. Now you can see every 2 months budget values has increased. If you want to decrease values, select decrease, select the frequency, and enter the percentage. You will select every 6 months. Now you can see every 6 months that budget values has decreased. You can view budget totals, each account and each period. After you enter budget values, you can save this budget. Budget reports. Once you have created and saved your budget, you can print or export your budget report to submit into the banks or financial institutions. Follow these steps to view your budget report. Click on the Company, Budgets, Budget Report option. The following screen will be displayed. Select the budget from the Budget drop-down menu. Check the Show Zero Items to checkbox if you want to see zero values. Click on the View Report button. The following screen will be displayed. If you have entered budget values, you can view budget values and total. If you untick Show Zero Items, you can view only budget lines with values. After you enter your budgets, you can generate your profit and loss report with budget values. You can compare with budget, select the budget, and if you want, you can view budget variance. Actual budget variance. Analysis codes. How it works. Analysis codes are way of keeping track and analyzing different dimensions and aspects of your business. It is not recording any new information in your accounting records. It is merely categorizing or tagging particular transaction in order to report on these areas at a later stage. Stage 1. Process setup. You set up the different areas of your business that you wish to analyze. We call these analysis codes. You will set it up under Company Analysis Codes. Stage 2. Processing. On the processing screens, you will assign this analysis code to relevant transaction, which we call tagging. You can select analysis codes. Stage 3. Reporting. Report on the different areas of your business that you have tagged on the processing screens. Go to Reports, Financial Statements, Profit and Loss, select Date Range, select Analysis Codes. You can generate analysis code-wise report. What can you use these analysis codes for? There are countless ways in which you may want to analyze the performance of your business and its operations. If your business has any of the following characteristics, then you should give analysis code a try. Projects, regions, cost centers, branches, etc. What about comparing to a budget? You can create as many budgets as you like. If you would like to compare a particular analysis code to a budget, you would simply create a budget for that analysis code. For example, 2020 budget, Western region. Go to Company, Budgets, add a budget. Then, when you run your profit and loss report, you would simply filter the report by the region, Western, and then choose to compare the report with the Western budget that you have set up. Creating analysis codes. Select the company, analysis codes option. How many analysis codes and categories? You are able to create up to 3 analysis codes. You can set unlimited analysis codes per analysis codes. You can set unlimited analysis categories per analysis code. You can choose to use less than 3 analysis code if you wish. Analysis codes in use. You can select whether a particular analysis code is active by ticking the In Use tick box on the setup screen. If an analysis code is not in use, then it will not be available for selection on the processing screen or reports. Making an analysis code inactive does not remove any of the tagging of the underlying transactions. This would need to be done on a specific transaction. If you would like to make the analysis code available for selection on the processing screen as well as available for reporting, then you would need to make in use again. Editing and deleting analysis code and categories. You can edit both analysis codes and the analysis categories at any time. You can only delete analysis category if it has no associated transactions linked to it. Processing with analysis codes. Once you have set up your analysis code, they will be available on all the processing screens. On most screens, the analysis code can be selected within new columns that appear in the processing grid. This can be selected by either tabbing across transaction line, scrolling to the right of the grid. some screen, you will need to select the Analysis Code button to open the Analysis Code selection drop-downs. Click on Customers, Transactions, Customer Tax Invoices option. Click on the Add Tax Invoice option. Enter the Processing Information Lines section. You will notice that your line selection will now have an additional field. Select the Analysis Code category from the drop-down menu. Click on the Processing option at the bottom of the screen. You can process Analysis Code on the following customer screens: Customer Quotes, Customer Tax Invoices, Customer Recurring Invoices, Customer Credit Notes, Customer Adjustments, Customer Receipts, You can process Analysis Code on the following supplier screens: Supplier Purchase Orders, Supplier Invoices, Supplier Returns, Supplier Payments, Supplier Adjustments. You can process Analysis Codes on the following other screens: Item Adjustments, Banking, Process Journal Entries, As mentioned, in some screen you will have to select the Analysis Code links as can be seen below. Reporting with analysis codes. Analysis codes are available on the following performance reports: profit and loss report, sales by item report, purchases by item report, account transactions, The following types of reporting is available for analysis codes. Filter by analysis code. Single analysis code, basic filtering, multiple analysis code, detailed filtering, group by analysis code,